And welcome to Winter Eating. This is After Hours, Wok Star Chicken Chow Mein. And during After Hours, everybody is a Wok Star. Let's forget about it. I want to try to use wok there, but it didn't work out. Um, so welcome. This is Wok Star Chicken Chow Mein. I'm Charles Matheson. And today we're making chicken chow mein. It's a very simple dish, one of my favorites from the Chinese restaurant, which I now make myself. Sometimes I won't actually buy it from a restaurant because they'll just make it their own special way. So I'm going to show you how you can make it at home on your own. Great. So welcome to Friday. You made it through the week. I made it through the week. Very grateful for that. It was pretty nutty today um, at work. So anyway, so you'll see right here. This is a QR code for the tools and the recipes. So if you want the recipe, just click on that, and you'll also get links to the tools that I'm using, like the wok and the chef's knife that I'm going to be using. And if you click on those links, you'll be supporting me and the show. So please feel free to support me with a cup of coffee. That link is going to be coming up with where you can support me in a moment. But the link right here is for the tools and the recipes. So again, if you buy the wok that I'm using today, I will get something from it. So thank you. All right. So I'm going to start out first with my drink. So the drink I'm making today is what I call an era drink for me. Is a sour apple martini, and it's made with this. It's kind of like a schnapps. A schnapps is just an alcoholic drink. Well, not really a drink, like a mixture that you add to like a hard liquor. So this is the sour apple version. There's watermelon. There's peach blossom. There are so many out there. But this for me is what I call an era drink because I started to have this drink around like the 2000, actually around like 2006, 2007, and this very good friend of mine who was my boss at the time, and she like whenever we would meet up in the people I was running with at the time, they're all teachers. She would literally carry this. Okay, so like she was always ready for having her sour apple martini. Um, so being around that just was like if I knew whenever I have it, I get that feeling, that nostalgia. So I'm gonna make that right now. So it's super simple. I'm gonna get my shaker and I'm gonna get some ice. I'm gonna use some Absolute. It's a nice, good vodka. And I'm going to get some of my sour apple. All right. So this is a very strong drink. It is sweet, but it is not for the faint at heart. I will say that because the sour apple mixture is 15% alcohol. So you want to be cognizant of that. All right. Simple as that, easy peasy. Okay. So you want to get a martini glass for it. It is called a sour apple martini. So I'm going to just pour this through. I'm already thinking of those days with my good friend who will remain nameless. If my friends are watching, my teacher friends, old teacher friends, you know who it is. Okay, let's just clear this away. All right, so sour apple martini, super simple. Cheers to the late zeros and the early tens. All right. Okay. I could have been a little bit stronger actually, but you know what? I have a show to get through, so let me do that. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up the chicken thinly. And I'm gonna chop it on this cutting board because it's um, it's meat, and I kind of don't like to put meat on my wooden cutting boards. So I rather do it this way. So I'm gonna cut it very thinly, and the reason I'm cutting the chicken thinly, let's get this out of the way. I'm cutting it thinly is because when you cut meat thinly, they cook faster, first of all, but then you actually get to taste more of the meat. It's kind of like if you go to a deli or the Subway and get a sandwich, and you ask for, so you're getting a turkey sandwich or a ham and cheese, and you say, "Oh, can you cut the slices thinly?" Because when you cut the slices thinly, you actually get to taste more of the flavor of the meat that you're buying. Okay? So my chicken is cut up, and I am going to leave it on the cutting board for right now. And let me just wash my fingertips. So when you're cooking a chicken, if you're new to cooking, you want to always 100% wash your hands because chicken is not the kind of meat that you want to accidentally put your hands on your mouth. All right, so now it's time for the sauce. Okay, and I'm going to use some bouillon, some chicken bouillon. And chicken bouillon is, I use it as a substitute for broth. If I happen to have like chicken that's about to go bad, then I might use it for a broth. But usually my chicken goes really quickly, so I just use the bouillon cubes. Tastes just like chicken, and the spices that they add to bouillon really just work really well with chicken chow mein. All right, so I put it in a mortar and pestle. And I'm just going to, because it's a little old, but still good. And I'm gonna just crush down the the bouillon. See? And I use the Maggi brand bouillon. Okay. All right. So I'm going to add the bouillon to about a cup and a half of water. And this is basically all of the seasonings for the chicken chow mein. So you want to be generous with the amount of bouillon that you add because it's basically most of the seasoning. So I'm going to let this go to a boil. And then when it boils, I'm going to add the chicken to it to poach it. Okay. Poaching just means to boil. All right. So that you can support me, which I know you're all dying to, you can click on that link there. So it'll take you to Zelle, Venmo, all of those apps, and you can buy me a cup of coffee. Okay? If you feel led to. All right. So now it's time for the vegetables. And this is one of my favorite parts. So let me get another knife to cut because I cut with the chicken before. So one thing I love about chicken chow mein is just like the vegetables. The vegetables are like the best part. Like I feel like I'm healthy. I'm eating healthy when I cook chicken chow mein. So I'm cook. I'm chopping. This is celery very thinly, not julienne or almost julienne. Julienne means very long and thin. And again, when you cut your vegetables thin, you get to taste more of the vegetables. So I love celery. It's a great winter vegetable. So this is actually like a great winter meal because it's made with these hard vegetables and it can really hold you over during the winter if you're going to be making like a stew or something like that. I'm also going to be using some carrots, which you'll see in a moment. So I could just eat this raw. Just get some salt, and bam, I'm good with celery. Um, from I was a kid, that's how I ate it, just with salt. Only as an adult did I start to actually cook with celery. Um, yeah. All right. So my food cycle. So when I say my food cycle, I mean what have I been eating in the last 6 weeks to 2 months? Well, for the last like 2 weeks, for some reason, I've been eating a lot of McDonald's. And specifically, I've been eating their sausage biscuit. Like, I'm not gonna front. Their sausage biscuit is good. Like, you have to eat it like right away because if you don't, like an hour from the time you buy it, it's gonna be like hard. Let's see. If okay, so we are boiling. So I'm gonna put this on super low, and I'm gonna put the chicken straight inside of the pot and let it boil until it's completely white inside. All right, so I'm gonna put this on medium to low heat. Chicken usually cooks very quickly. So, like I was saying, I have been cooking. I've been cooking. I have been eating McDonald's recently. They're the sausage biscuit, and they have like the bundle, the $3 bundle. Yes, I am a cheapskate. I never pay full price at McDonald's or any fast food restaurant when I happen to have to go to it, because it's just why do it if you don't have to, you know? So I've been eating a lot of McDonald's recently, the sausage biscuit and their coffee. Their coffee, if you get it through the rewards program, is just 99 cents. Okay. And if you have the app, you get free fries on Friday if you make a purchase, I think, of like $1 or something like that. So it's a good deal. And I think McDonald's coffee is the best coffee that is out there. Okay. What else? I've also been eating, I've always been eating rice, but especially recently, I've been eating a lot of fried rice. And I used to actually buy fried rice a whole lot more than I do now. But the price of fried rice is just like everything else, has just skyrocketed. It's insane. Like there was one place I went to on Wednesday, and they were asking for $7 for a pint of chicken fried rice. Okay, I could make that at home for like 50 cents. Okay, and then there was another place that was maybe 2 miles away from it, is charging $4.25. It's like there's no rhyme or reason. It's just like people are just trying to just charging whatever they think that get away they can get away with. It's just insanity. Insanity, I tell you. All right, let's take a look at the chicken. All right, so chicken looks good. So let's take a look. It's basically cooked, but I wanted to get more of the chicken flavor in it. And so I'm gonna let that just steep for about maybe 2 to 3 more minutes. All right, so I am done with my carrots, right? And I'm gonna get the yellow onion and chop this down. Another great dish, well, I guess you could call it in my food cycle, is chicken tikka masala. I wanted to use my onions, and I didn't know what to make. So I made that this weekend, and I had the leftovers for it for like 3 days, and it's oh my god, it is good. Oh, let me tell you, it's very simple to make. You get some curry masala, and then you get some potatoes, not potatoes, tomatoes. You get it into like a blender. You blend it down so it gets to a sauce. You add some garlic to it, and then you add your curry, some salt, some garlic, some turmeric, um, some cilantro, and bam, you're done. It's super, super, super tasty. I'll put a link to the recipe that I use for it in the description of this. So if you want to try it out, you can. It's very, very simple. Like all the recipes that I make on a regular basis for myself on a weeknight, like tonight, usually take 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so this is actually taking me a little longer because I'm just chilling with you guys on a Friday night in Brooklyn. Cheers. So what are you drinking? I know people are watching. People watch this after I do it, which is totally cool because you are that's how you roll. Everybody got to roll how they roll. All right. So all my vegetables are chopped up thinly and nicely. And now I am ready to cook. All right. So let's put this over here for right now. And I'm going to turn off my chicken. The chicken is completely cooked. I'm going to bring over my induction stove here. All right. So if you get an induction stove, make sure that the equipment that you use is metallic. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So I'm going to put this. Actually, one thing I need to do actually, I need to chop up my garlic. So let me chop. Let me do that. All right. So put this over here for right now. And chop up the garlic. So, do you have an era drink? Everybody has to have an era drink. Just, I mean, if you're over 21, and let me see, you're over not only over 21, but you're over, let's say, you're 35 and over, so you've had some experience of life. Um, you gotta have, and you drink alcohol. Well, it doesn't have to be alcohol, but usually it is alcohol. Um, what is your era drink? Another one of my era drinks is Brooklyn Lager. Brooklyn Lager is a beer that's made here in Brooklyn, and it's, I guess, at the time it was a microbrewery. I don't think it can be called a micro brewery anymore because the Brooklyn Brewery, I find their beers all over the United States now. Like, well, at least on the East Coast. I haven't been on the West Coast in many years, so I'm not sure. But you can like find Brooklyn Brewery beers um, all along the East Coast, especially the Northeast. And back in the day, it is still my favorite beer because just the nights, the after hours. When I say after hours, I mean after this, like I'm talking after hours. Okay. I can't tell you how many evenings and conversations and philosophical discussions I had over Brooklyn Lager. Uh, that was just really life changing. And the friends I made over Brooklyn Lager, just I still have to this day. All right, so I'm melting about um, 3 tablespoons of butter. So let's move this over. Get this in front of me. All right. So we got 3 tablespoons of butter melting inside of the wok. Okay. And I'm gonna just help this melt a little bit. All right. We got we got the melts going. All right. So on the subject of drinks, I don't know about you, but drink inflation has reached an inflection point. I went to a birthday party of a friend of mine at a bar. I'm not going to say the name of the bar, but it sounds like Homeowners Association, and it was in Astoria, Queens. And so I get there, so I'm thinking like we're gonna like have a table, we're gonna have dinner, and so like we're standing, and I'm like, why are we standing? And my friend said, oh, I couldn't get a table. And in order to get a table, you had to get a bottle, okay? And not only one bottle, you had to get 2 bottles, okay? All right, let me put this down on lower. Put it on 200 degrees, so that'd be like a simmer. I add my garlic. You not only did you have to get one, not only did you have to get a bottle, you have to get 2 bottles. 2 bottles in order to have a seat at a table. Okay? So we're there, and then my friend, it was her birthday. She finally, I guess, a table comes up, and I guess maybe my friend, she like said, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. So we get a table, and we get two. So we go to the table. So then they tell us, okay, the bottles start at $180 each. Okay, and I'm thinking like, is this like U.S. dollars? Because it's just like, I mean, we got a bottle. I think it was a whiskey. It it wasn't Jameson. It it slips me right now what the name the of the whiskey was. Um, but it was that one. I'm sure it's gonna come to me when I'm done or at the end of the after I press stop on the record. So we get a whiskey, and then we also get a Tito's vodka, each $180. Bam. Okay. So we paid $360 for 2 bottles. Now, I will say that it was 10 of us. Okay, so 10 of us like split among 10 people. We didn't actually split it among 10 people. A handful of people paid, um, and I wasn't one of them. Full disclosure. I gave my friend a gift. Otherwise, and it was just like it was just so shocking to me. Just like that one can charge $180 for and not twice. You have to get 2 bottles, okay? So just drink inflation is just nuts in New York City. Just and I went to a bar last weekend and I was charged $11 for a rum and coke. And rum is like one of the cheapest alcohols out there. And $11 for a rum and coke. Okay, so the my vegetables. Let's see. Okay, So now, what I have to do, I have to add the sauce to the vegetables so that it can boil. Okay? So I'm gonna pour this right inside. There we go. We got the sizzlers going. So now the liquid is going to boil the vegetables so I can get them al dente. That's the goal, to get them al dente. And once they're al dente, then I'm done. And I'm gonna wait a little bit for the. So now I turned up the heat to 600 degrees. So that would be like medium high if you're using a gas grill. Let me move this. Thank you for those who supported. That would be medium high. So I'm gonna just let this now simmer. So I'm gonna put it on 800 just to get it going. That would be like medium, like proper. And then when it starts to boil, I'm going to add some cornstarch to thicken up the the sauce. So yeah, so that was last weekend. Um, so it's the holidays, and holiday time means holiday parties and holiday food, and I. It seems like the drink now that everyone is drinking like for the holidays is coquito. Okay, so coquito is like a coconut drink, and it's at least the one that I have had. My cousin's wife, who's my cousin, she made it for Thanksgiving when I was in Fort Lauderdale over Thanksgiving. Like like that like one thing about sweet drinks is that they're very deceptive because they're so sweet, and oftentimes those drinks that are so sweet, they hit you. I mean, just like they're so strong. And I think maybe she used, excuse me, the Jamaican vodka in it, because like there's a Jamaican vodka that's like a 90 proof vodka, that thing will just that knock you out. And I think I'm a big guy. I'm a heavy hitter. Like I can hold a drink, but when it comes to Jamaican rum, they put this thing in cake, and even when you taste the cake, you can get buzzed off of Jamaican wedding cake, hands down. Okay, so this thing was used like, at least it tasted like pure in the coquito. Man, I was good. I was good. I was definitely good. Okay, so the liquid is boiling. Take a little. Oh God. Oh, that's great. Perfect. All right. So I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add some cornstarch, and so that you don't get the clumps, you just. Oh, that was way too much that came out of there. Okay. I'm not gonna use all this. I'm just gonna just sprinkle to make the sauce thicken. Okay. There's nothing worse than getting just like cornstarch, a big clump of cornstarch in your sauce. It's not very tasty. All right, so that's good. All right, so that's coquito. And another holiday drink that actually I have been drinking. Actually, I drink this all year round. That's cider. I love cider. Apple cider, like spiced apple cider. I had recently caramel apple cider. It's great, delicious, a very nice treat. And so I usually drink cider like cold, but you can actually just get that cider that you buy. So it's not apple juice. Cider is definite. It's not the same as apple juice. I don't actually know. I think there's something like with the fermentation, like cider. Turn this down to like low. Cider is I think something to do with like the fermentation process of it. It has a much more bold taste than just apple juice. So apple cider is definitely a drink that for the holidays that I drink that actually you can actually drink all year round, but especially in the winter. It's nothing like a hot cup of apple cider or a cold apple cider. All right, let me sample this. Okay, onions good. All right, this is done. 100% done. All right, so now let me get some rice. And every every good kitchen, at least every good kitchen in my house, that's the one kitchen I have here, always has rice. Uh, rice is rice is nice, and great thing about rice is that you can add so many things to it. Beans. I mean, I don't have to like list it, but you know, fried rice. Just the list goes on and on and on. Okay. All right. So I got my rice. I made that earlier. Now I'm going to put my chow mein in it. Oh, this looks so good. This friend of mine who told me I showed her how I made my chow mein. I made this earlier this week, and she made fun of me. So if she's watching this, I took your advice and I made it thinner. All right. So cheers. Let's take a taste. Mmm. Mmm. This is so simple. And honestly, if you want to make a vegetarian version of this, do not add any chicken. Just have the vegetables and wham bam, you're done. So, thank you guys for tuning in and watching me. I hope you learned something, and please feel free to message me. Let me know what you'd like to see. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, what you'd like to see in the future. Because I'm going to be here for a while cooking after hours. All right, guys. See you next time.